Today on 3D Outdoors, it's time to clean the HarvestRight Freeze Dryer. Right after this. All right, we ran a bunch of batches through there. You probably have too as well. And depending on what kind of situation you have, will depend on what kind of mess you have in there. If you've been running something that we've seen pictures of stuff splattered all over inside, and then ones like this where it's just been used a bunch of times and it's time to clean it out. Either way, the process is pretty much the same, just the amount of, shall we say, elbow grease that you're going to have to put into it. Now, first of all, let's talk about what we're going to use to clean this. We're going to need some rags. For the plexiglass front, I have the lint-free rags, the super soft ones here, so I don't scratch it, because I don't want to scratch that door that we look through. So I have a couple of special rags for that, and just a regular wash rag and a towel for inside the tub and for the racks themselves. Have some rinse water. And I have some water with what is called a mild detergent. And you'll see all kinds of folks going into all kinds of different things. And I guess I just went with dish soap. I consider that to be a mild detergent. I've seen some using vinegar, and I cringe when I see that, because stainless and vinegar don't like each other. So I would keep vinegar out of there. I mean, you're not supposed to run vinegar through the machine. You're not supposed to freeze dry like dill pickles that have a whole bunch of vinegar in them, because it can pit the stainless steel, and it can mix with your oil that's in your vacuum pump and literally create an acid and ruin your pump. So I would stay away from using vinegar. I've seen some people use a very diluted form of bleach. I guess that would work. I wouldn't want to put too heavy a concentration of bleach in there, because if you ever spill bleach on your clothes, you know what that does to your clothes. So it can be kind of caustic as well. So I'm just going with a regular old dish soap, a little bit in some warm water, and we're going to clean it up. So first of all, we're going to take it apart, open the door up here. First thing you're going to do is take off your ring here. This is your seal ring. It pushes right over a lip, so you can just pull that right off. So you can clean that off of the machine. There we go. I see some candy bits in the bottom. Anthony has been busy freeze drying candy, so isn't that dandy? So we've got chunks coming out all over here. So we'll just lay that down and we'll clean that before we put it back on. We're going to slide the rack out. Let's make some room here. We'll get everything taken apart and then we'll jump into the cleaning. So we're going to slide the rack out, and in the back of the rack there is a plug that just plugs in the back, and it's just a kind of a standard plug, the press release style. You just push down the little release and it pulls right out. You seen how easy that was right there. We'll set this down here for some easier access and cleaning. And maybe I'll give you a little closer look at a few of the items here real quick. So there's that plug. It looks kind of like an automotive plug for anybody that's done automotive. Many of you probably haven't. But it's just a push release. You just push this little button right here and it releases and you pull it apart. You can see in here all the gunk that we're going to have to wipe out. And we'll wipe all the gunk off of there and clean the seal. So let's get started on that here. Just work on the door here first. My door isn't terribly dirty right now, so this shouldn't be too hard of a process. We're just going to wipe that down. Grab our dry rag. and wipe that right off. I'm not even going to worry about rinsing that with clean water like I will inside. I don't think we're going to have any soap residue behind. We can wash off the outside here. That way we get a better look. Always fun to watch your food as it's processing in there. See a little ring there yet from that ring? Wipe that off. And it's as easy as that. Now I am going to take and pull all the particles that I can out of here first. Sweep them out. I'll sweep up the floor later. But let's just get the chunks out. Now that that's cleaned out, I'm going to take some of this soapy water. Now I do have my valve open and the hose in a bucket, just as if I was getting done running a batch, so that my excess water can go to the back and go right out of that as I'm scrubbing this. And we'll just set this wire right up here on my little hangy. Now, I've had some people ask me, what is this? I'll just go into this real quick that I hooked it onto. I believe that this piece came with the Wise camera, and I ordered a Wise camera so I can watch the progress as I'm freeze drying for the timer from remotely. So if I'm in town and not out here at the HQ, I can watch that remotely and see the countdown so I know when it's done. I just stuck this on with 2-phase sticky tape, and I got a piece of Velcro around here so that I can hang it there so it's not permanently affixed there. So if I want to, I can just take that off and set it on the top, and I can use it as a security camera in here as well. So there's that. So let's take and wipe this all down in here, scrub this out good. But I've had a couple people ask about that, so I figured I would address that here today. You can probably hear, I don't know how well the mic's picking it up, but the water's running towards the back. You know, that's one of the things when you set up your freeze dryer, you set it up with a little bit of an angle towards the rear. That way you can do that. This will help clean out that hose as well as you're running the water through, and I'll show you something else here in a minute that you can use to help clean. I wouldn't get too much water up too high, because there is an output port up here that goes over to the vacuum pump, so don't get a bunch of water in there so that it has to deal with it over there. And that's part way up the back, and your drain's in the middle on the bottom. All right, there's that. Rinse this out real quick. Go over to the rinse water. Rinsed out nice. While we're scrubbing away here, we'll give that a second to drip drain there, and we'll just tap any gunky parts that might be in there out. We'll take and wipe this off. Just go around this seal here quick. Rinse our rag off. All right. Take our drying towel here. Dry that off. Got that cleaned up. Set that there for now. Take and wipe. Actually going to run a little more water through there. Since it's just running down into my bucket, I'm going to take my soapy water. Careful not to pour too much because it'll come back forward. Can only drain so fast. Rinse that out really good back there. And the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to try to clean that hole out back there. There might be some crud down in there. What I have here, and you may or may not have this. If you're into hunting, you'll probably recognize this. This is a flexible cleaning rod for a firearm. And they make these Nice little pieces of cloth, they call them patches, that you can put through there. You can cut them up, make your own, or they come with them sometimes, which this one did. And I'm just gonna, and it holds on to the cloth, so I could show you how that works a little closer to the camera here. You can see that cloth goes right through there, so it holds on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the back of the machine, and in the back of the machine you can see the drain hole there. I'm going to take this back here and run it down into that drain hole. Fish it around, you can see the cloth stays on there. So I'm cleaning around in that hole. Doesn't seem to be too bad. And then what you can do as well is you can run that back up through that hose, because this will reach all the way up to the top. I'm not going to waste your time showing you that, but this will fit up through there and run all the way to the top to clean that out. Now that we got that done, take and run some of this rinse water back here. Like that. And how do the trays look here? And I've seen all kinds of different things for these trays. One of the YouTubers that really goes into the freeze drying, does his own cookbook, sells subscriptions, all kinds of stuff. He's listed a specialized tool on there that he wants you to link to Amazon to clean it. As you can see right here, I just ran the towel right through it. It fits, it goes right through, and you just wipe it right off. You don't need to buy a special brush from a link to go to one of those big sellers. You can just run a towel through, clean it off, wipe it off good, and you'll be fine. All right, take and wipe that extra water out of there. Dry this all off. All right, going to take our tray unit and we'll do the reverse order of unpinning this wire. So we're just going to take this wire, bring it back over here, and hook it back up, and it just pushes right back together again. Clips together. Got to keep this wire up, and we'll just slide this right to the back again. Just like that. It's in there, level, all set, ready to go. Take and dry that off a little bit here quick. In the front, a little harder to get to that spot. There we go. Take our seal, and that has an opening on it that goes right over that metal ridge that sticks out all the way around. So we're just going to put that back on, find the ridge, and it slides right over top. Just push it down. Give that a real quick wipe here. Again, caught a little residue off the table there. And there we go, all cleaned up. It's as easy as that. So don't let cleaning the HarvestRight be intimidating. It's as simple as that. This is Dan with 3D Outdoors, reminding you to get in the outdoors and enjoy everything it has to offer. If you like this video, make sure to go over to our website, 3d-outdoors.com. We put everything together there. Hit the subscribe button down below and hit that bell so it notifies you when we post new videos. See you next time.